Hello, you're welcome to Solomon's Court, a division of Personal Development Center. I am Funu Unoge, a chairman of Personal Development Center. In this series of videos, we'll be talking about the competitive advantage. The world is full of competition in every area of life. One of the areas where competition is most obvious is in the area of sports. For example, 100-meter dash. You get 6 to 8 people at the starting line, and then you want to find out who is the fastest, who is the one that breasts the tape first. Whoever breasts the tape first has a competitive advantage over others. Football is another area. Sometimes a team can play very entertaining football, but whoever scores the better number of scores, that person has the competitive advantage. So basically, what you need in a football team is people who can prevent goals from coming in against you and people who can score goals on the other side. So, irrespective of what happens in the midfield, it is the goals. Sometimes I've watched some matches where the ball possession is as much as 65-70%, but the number of scores shows a man-o advantage. The winner of that competition is not the person with a longer ball possession. It is the person who has scored the goal. So competitive advantage in football is scoring. In every other area of life, if you are in the professions, a medical doctor, a competitive advantage could be the location of your hospital. Maybe your hospital is more accessible. You may have the same skills as other people, but your location is more accessible. It is easier to reach you. And when we say location, it does not necessarily mean physical location. Maybe online location. It's easy to get into your internet site to find out whatever you have to offer. And then for some other people, it can be the technology that backs up their practice. So you may have a very brilliant doctor with a poor technology around him. And you may have an average doctor with a sharp state-of-the-art technology. In performance, the average doctor with a sharp technologically updated setup may have a competitive advantage. In various other areas of life, for example in politics, you can have somebody who comes from a dominant tribe or a geopolitical region. He may not be as good as other people, but he has the advantage of a large sector of people from whom he comes. Whereas an excellent candidate, politically astute, somebody with a good mind, good heart, ready to serve, well, he comes from a minority. It is difficult to win an election coming from the minority sector, except the larger group of people are willing to overcome regional politics. In many parts of the developing countries, it is still a strong factor. So that thing that gives you an edge over other people is called a competitive advantage. Esther competed for several days with the queen. The king wanted to choose a new queen. Ladies came in and then went out the other way. Immediately the king saw Esther, for whatever reason, maybe for her beauty, maybe for whatever reason. That beauty caught the attention of the king, so it became the competitive advantage. At other times, it may be capacity to endure, endurance. That's why in football, sometimes a team may be doing very well during a regular period or time. But when the match goes into extra time, additional 30 minutes, 15 minutes on each side, the team with the greater capacity to endure, the team with a higher endurance value, that may be the competitive advantage that a team has to win. Or even if after the extra time, they now have to do penalty shootout. A team that is average but has excellent players that can shoot and score penalty, that can be the competitive advantage that a team needs. So it is very important for us to know in every endeavor there are competitive advantages. We have heard about the hard skills, we have heard about the soft skills. Sometimes what makes a difference between a great establishment and an average struggling establishment is the leadership skill of the leader. So that leadership skill, ability to work with people, ability to bring the best out of people, individuals that come into the establishment, that can be a competitive advantage. So whatever gives an edge in a competition becomes the competitive advantage that an individual needs in any endeavor of life. So it spreads. We can continue to give examples after example. Maybe the capacity to be grateful can be a competitive advantage that somebody has. I was studying the other day in a professional interview. I read that sometimes when you are looking for top-rated doctors and you have checked the curriculum vitae of the various doctors, you have checked the competencies, and there are people who are at par. One of the things you look at is their extracurricular activities, and that those who have participated in team sports during that kind of a phase, when you have to when you have to pick one or the other, those who have participated successfully in a team sport usually have an edge, because it is believed that they have a team spirit. They can work in a team. So the medical field require you have the doctors, you have the nurses, the pharmacists, laboratory workers, those who claim they're radiology experts. You need individuals that has the capacity to bring the team together for the benefit of the patient. So in that very interesting study, a recruitment, I learned that extracurricular activities that involves team sports could be a very important difference among people competing for the same work. So we can say competitive advantage can be spiritual. Maybe somebody knows how to pray and another person does not know how to pray. It can be mental capacity, the ability to relax, to be comported, not jittery, confident. These are soft skills which ordinarily do not appear to be important. But when you have to, many competitions that occur, the people involved, they have the basic qualifications. It is very rare if you are looking for lecturers in a field. Many times they will all probably come in with a PhD. So the basic qualification is same. But what we mean by competitive advantage is, apart from the PhDs that all of you will bring, for example, who gives you the reference letter for that kind of job? Maybe somebody who is an expert in that field, well known, known to be a man of integrity. When they find his reference letter, highly recommended you, it can be the competitive advantage that a person needs to get a job. So a competitive advantage is something universal. It can involve anything. Oh, for example, in handball, basketball, height and agility, they give competitive advantage. A 5-footer will not do, it's not likely, all things being equal, to do as good as a 6-footer or a 6'5" individual. So it is very important in doing whatever you do, find out what are the various competitive advantages that is available. And then the next side, the thing to do, assess, do I have that competitive advantage? Thank you very much for being a part of this video. We encourage you to like it, to make comments, to subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you and God bless.